Thank you for checking out this short. I hope you enjoy. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell. Peace. I don't know whether or not we can pull it off, right? Historically, if it's not a presidential election, not a lot of people turn out, right? And the reality is that this runoff race in Georgia for us as Democrats is just as important as the presidential election, right? Like in reality, but we're very limited in what we could do because we're not from Georgia and we're not in Georgia. So it's really up to the Georgians to pull us through and get those governors, get those senates, those last 2 Senate seats for us. To that point, it's going to really take all the Georgians out there to really make this happen, right? They need to get out in full force and vote just like they did for the presidential election, right? And, I know it's very difficult to do, stand in line. I don't know if they're doing mail-in votes for this as well. I don't know what the guidelines are. I assume they are, but guess Donald.
It is 48-48.
It is 48-48. Is that accounting for everyone, all the different states, with the exception of Georgia?
I know. That's right now. I'm focusing on it's 48-48. I'm looking now to see if they called Alaska. Hold on. No, that's everyone. I'm sorry.
That is everyone.
Alaska is still in the pink, meaning it's undecided.
It's not decided yet. So I'm curious. I'm curious though if they've decided the governor races, although it's in pink, because sometimes the Senate races. I'm sorry. Sometimes they call it the Senate race prior to actually calling the actual.
No, because North Carolina is at issue as well. North Carolina and the Senate race. It was North Carolina and Alaska.
Are you looking at Associated Press?
No. I have to go at FoxNews.com because they have to tell the truth. They have to tell the truth. Very rarely do they tell the truth, but in this they have no choice.
They got to tell the truth, huh?
They have to tell the truth, right?
So I need to look at the numbers, but it'd be nice to. So Stacey Abrams believes that we can win, the seats,
right.
But at the same time,
shout out to Stacey Abrams. Though.
She's amazing. I wish she had the opportunity. I wish she was running during this election because she would have won. I think. Quite honestly, but with that though,
who's the Stacey Abrams lady?
What's that?
Who is the Stacey Abrams lady? Who is she?
So she was running out of Georgia for the governor role out of Georgia, and I forget who she was going up against at the time, but he basically he minimized how certain votes would come in. And basically, I would call it gerrymandering, but he minimized how certain votes would be counted and come in, and she ended up losing the race. So she's been a big talk of the town. They were even talking about her running for, being vice president. Some thought that she could potentially be a great vice president. So I think there's definitely an opportunity for her to do some very big things in the future moving forward. But it's just unfortunate that she could not be running for a governor's seat along with the other 11 governors that were going for their seats at the time. Because if so, she probably would for sure be pulling that thing out. That's just unfortunate. Yes, Donald.
She lost that vote to Kemp.
To Kemp. Is that okay? Yeah. What was his first name? Does it say?
Yeah, Brian Kemp. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's another one that should be going. But listen, I think that Georgia, so it's up to the Georgians to pull it out for us. But my question is how can we push support to Georgia? Right? Like financially?
Well, financially, sure, but we had how
about communication? Just communication all itself.
Right.
Yeah.
The old soul would have to reach out. I got family in Georgia, different parts of the city, different parts of the state. We got to reach out, and they have to beat the drum that how we said this election, we had to vote as if our life depended on it.
Yeah.
We sure enough did, right?
Yeah, that's right.
We sure enough did. Mm-hmm. So they got that same messaging. Okay, that same messaging has to go forward in Georgia. They have to be continually on on that vote, 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 vote. Because here's the thing, right? The 70-something million people, they're not watching our podcast.
Not at all.
They're not watching another network. They're watching the other network.
Yeah, y'all need to be checking us out.
You know what I'm saying? No, but we don't have nobody in our group that look like them, bro.
Yeah. I'm gonna add one. I got somebody. I'm gonna bring in some. No,
We got one right there. He right there.
Oh, he talking about baller. He talking about the baller. He talking about you, baller.
He right there.
Talking about you.
B.
So yeah. So baller, what do you think we can do to really push out and help Georgia?
You know, actually, to be honest with you, social media has always been the thing to go lately in the past few years. So it's actually, I mean, we're doing our part now as far as our podcast and putting it out there and asking people to subscribe, you know, but it's almost, we have to put out somewhere, you know, where it looked like I'm bludgeoning the doc for somebody to take a look at us, you know, and to say, you know, listen, this guy right here was in Georgia.
Right.
You know, so he's asked you to save his life and vote and do what you need to do. You know, but again, it's like you have to, I mean, it's bottom line, it's almost like social media. To be personally do something, that's the almost only thing we can do is push something on that would link up to people in Georgia.
You know, so interesting. This literally did not pop into my mind until just now. We were talking about communication, but I think what we could do from our video perspective, fellas, is, you know, and so I could donate money to a cause, right? I could donate money to a cause, but maybe we could put together a small video as to why people in Georgia should get out to vote, and then I can post it on Facebook and then boost it to a special target, right? A target of Georgia, right? So I can go to a certain location for everybody who has Facebook and maybe push out, get out the vote, right? Because that's, I think if we, to that point, I think that we definitely need to do messaging, right? Doc and Donald said messaging is important, and I agree that messaging is important because aside from being there knocking on doors in Georgia ourselves, I'm in California. Very difficult for me to get out there, especially during the COVID times. But instead of me knocking on doors, I think the best way that we and maybe y'all can go down there and drop down to Georgia, right? Since y'all got peeps and families down there. But I think intermediary thing that we could potentially do is maybe get a video together, and maybe it's, you know, similar to the videos that we said vote 2020. Maybe it's a video that is similar that says, hey, listen, you know, vote for, we'll come up with the messaging, but something very similar where we can push out and get people in Georgia to go out and really vote. And so I'm going to challenge all of you that are watching us to figure out how can you push out some form of communication to those that you may know in Georgia or don't even know in Georgia, so that we can really spread the word of how important it is to vote. Because it is still a part, you know, although Biden has been projected winner, you have to understand that without the Senate, control of the Senate, then it's going to be very difficult for him to pass anything that he really wants to do when he's got the devil, Mitch McConnell. That's right. And I'm going to call him the devil again. Mitch McConnell blocking. Yeah, Donald.
I have a question for those that are, I'm looking into the camera, and you know, during the debate, Biden looked into the camera. He wanted to talk to the American people. Well, I'm going to look into the camera, and I'm going to challenge some of you folks out there. How do you break away from the cultist known as Donald Trump? Why are you continually drinking the red lemonade like from the Guyana Jones tragedy? And if you don't know what the Guyana Jones tragedy, just look it up. You know, stop voting against your own interests. Obamacare and the Affordable Health Care Act is the same thing, West Virginia. It's the same thing. So let's get out and try to see if we can tear down this cultist known as Trumpism one brick at a time. And it's going to come from us, not the politicians. got to come from us.
Baller, you want to, Donald, I actually like that. I think that's a great segue for us to try to really close this out. Baller, you want to give any last final words to those in Georgia? This is for Georgia specifically.
I'm going to ask all Georgia. Oh, Georgia. Reach out to that neighbor, to that cousin. You know, our lives are still hanging in the balance to get to the next level, get to where we need to be as a country. I'm not going to say it's going to be tomorrow, next month, or even next year, but we have to make the steps as a people. And at this point in time, Philadelphia did their part. Now we ask that you do your part and get these people in these seats. So don't sit back thinking everything is done. The job is complete. It is not. So we need y'all people to get out there and push this.
Appreciate that. Also,
you know what? I'm going to take a different angle from this, and I'm going to reach out to my sister, especially my sister, my nephews. Listen, knock on some doors, drive some people, do some volunteer work, but just get into their head that they need to vote. This goes out to my big sister. This goes out to my nephews. Y'all are Georgia residents. Even though you're Philadelphia born and bred and you live there, you know what we need to do. We did our end. Now it's time for you to do yours. So go out there, knock on some doors, make some phone calls, send out some emails. You guys got the contacts. I'm going to put out a personal plea to my family. Handle your business out there.
Word. Doc, Big Doc, what do you say to the Georgia?
I got some family out there in Georgia too. I'm going to link out to them and tell them also, just knock on some doors and pass the word on, let's vote and get a better Senate inside them seats so it could be a better world of the day. So I can elaborate on the old soul. And I got some family out there as well. So I'll knock on some doors and I'll ring some phones and talk to them and ask them to do the same thing.
Word. So listen, everybody, you heard from the brothers, and I'll say this. This is really to you, the Georgians out there. Half the job is done. We got Biden in office. He's projected winner. January 20th, he will be sworn in, irrespective. He will be sworn in. However, without you, this is going to be very difficult for Biden to pass anything he wants to pass if we don't get the Senate. And so it's up to you to get out there and vote. Vote as if your life depends on it. Vote as if your soul depends on it. Similar to how you went out and put the votes out for President Biden, we need you to do the same for the Democratic ticket for the Senate race. So absentee ballots are going out on November 18th. Deadline to register is December 7th. Early in-person voting begins December 14th, and actual election runoff is on January 5th. That's 15 days before Biden is sworn in. We need you to get out there and vote as if your life depends on it. You grab a van, you take everybody out, and you vote. It is imperative that you do so. And we're going to do our part by continuing to push out messaging to those of you in Georgia to really try to push and harness the power of you, the individual. Back to Donald's original point, we need to stop voting cultish ways and vote for the American people. So I want to thank you all for watching us and checking us out. Really appreciate you checking this video out. If you like it, do subscribe. We're at 66 subscribers. We're trying to get to 100. That's our first goal, 100. And so I need 34 people to subscribe to this channel. And so I ask of you, please subscribe if you like what you're hearing. If you want to hear more, subscribe to our channel on YouTube. I am here with the brothers, and we are out. Fellas, listen, peace to y'all. Love y'all very much. We
Love
out.
you too, brother.